Well, you guys, welcome to Supper Story Stream. Today we are continuing our charity fundraiser for 1000 Dreams Fund. If you guys can do !donate. 1000 Dreams Fund is a wonderful, wonderful charity organization. They provide micro grants to women to help with tuition costs, hardware upgrades, mentorship, and so much more. So if even a dollar counts or helps, feel free to donate right there in that Tiltify link. It goes directly to 1000 Dreams Fund. And during this entire month of Women's History Month of March, the Twitch Women's Guild has banded together and we have been raising funds all month long. I think we're at nearly at $10,000 right now. And I do believe that we are going to continue raising funds into April. And the most wonderful thing is that 75% of all funds raised during March and April will go directly back to the Twitch Women's Guild, to guildies such as myself and our friends here. And it will help us out with costs for upgrading hardware, pursuing our dreams. So thank you so, so much for just even being here. We are $100 away from $600. We stretched the goal. We already reached one goal, but I figured we'd go ahead and just go ahead, stretch it to see what we can do for the Twitch Women's Guild and 1000 Dreams Fund. Okay, welcome everybody. And let's see here. How about we do some introductions? And thank you for, hi Jessa, hi everybody. Thank you for joining today's stream. Supper Stories, if you don't already know, Supper Stories is a podcast where guests eat nostalgic childhood foods and they share their most memorable stories about their classic family suppers from their culture. Let's start with introductions from Angie.
Hello. Oh, sorry. I was just sitting here wrapping up a post, but we did it, so we're good now. Um, but thank you, Velvet, for having me. I am Angie Noel without the underscore. If you know, you know. I'm an Indigenous educator and content creator. I'm Chickasaw, Choctaw, Mississippi Choctaw, and Mexican, or the non-colonized names would be called Chicasha and Chanta. I stream a variety of games. I'm a part-time creator. I stream like once a week, but I have lots of experience on the platform. Been streaming for several years now. Um, let's see what else. I'm part of the Twitch Women's Guild, the Latin Guild, the Pride Guild, as an Indigi queer two spirit relative. And I also am the co-founder of the Indigenous Alliance on Twitch, which also the rest of the panel or the members of this event are other Indigenous Alliance members. And I think that's it, unless you need me to cover anything else.
Thank you, Angie. That was perfect.
Okay.
All right, next up, Sage. Tell us about yourself, what you do.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sage. I'm Sagely Bad Vice pretty much everywhere. I am of the Taino Nation, and I mostly write. If I'm not writing my own universe, I'm gaming a little bit, but really mostly it's just writing and running tabletop games inside of my own universe and exploring Indigenous heritage through that. That's it. That's what I got.
Velvet, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, and last but not
Should
least, oh, the beauty of live production. Last but not least, it is Cedar, our third supper guest for this evening. Tell the people about
Sure.
yourself and what you do.
Shoo, Cedar Quakiclas, Wyatt is a Hosit is Ninak Ina Ea Hatakshiklas. Hi everyone, my name is Cedar. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I'm from the DT Ahusit in Zaudi nations within the Pacific Northwest area. I'm finally admitting that I am a Fortnite streamer. It's taken a couple months, but that's what I mainly do these days, and also some co-working. I'm also a part of the Indigenous Alliance here on Twitch with everybody else, and I try my best to incorporate a lot of my languages within stream. And speaking of languages, today's the National Day of Indigenous Languages here in so-called Canada. There are a lot of languages in Canada, but most of them are within the province of British Columbia. If I remember correctly, there's 35 recognized languages in BC alone, possibly 36. So there's a diverse amount of languages here, and the language that you heard me speak is DT dot, which is part of the Nichal, but it's also an isolate language as well. So it's quite unique to my area here. And shoo.
Amazing. I just love how you all share your language. And thank you, Fortnite streamer Cedar. Official Fortnite
Let's
streamer
go.
now. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Velvet. I stream very, very experimental, super silly, pretty much comedic ASMR streams that are highly, highly interactive. That's really the core of my streams. We're very mischievous, and I'm always testing new things with my AI called Helga. So, for example, I could show you one thing. My chat is sometimes very, very naughty. And they like to spray things at me, wind and water, and literally, the phrase where they say, "Oh, make it rain, girl." Well, I take that sentiment to the fullest extent, like, how do we make that actually happen? So we do actually have rainwater come down, and here's one where I have a bidet here, a golden toilet. Here, let me show you a golden toilet cup that my chat likes to spray water at me. Helga, spray.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They usually activate that at their will.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we do here. So thank you for joining us. Yeah, good grief. Exactly. I agree. So we are here with our Indigenous creators, and we also wanted to give a super shout out to one more person as well, Riah. She was not able to make it with us because she is mourning a passing in her family, her loved one, her grandfather. So we wanted to show her some love and give her some recognition. Can we do exclamation mark Riah so the chat knows who she is, and to give her a big old follow? There we go. Perfect. Yeah, Riah. Thank you so much, you guys. So we wanted to keep her in our thoughts. So, for supper this evening, we are featuring Indigenous foods from our wonderful friends here. Angie, how about we start off with you first? What is your first dish?
Let's do the pashofa. We'll just go very tradish. Well, they're both these are both the tradish ones. But we'll start with pashofa. So this is what it looks like. Ooh. All right. So, and then what is inside of it? Whoops. It's a traditional Chickasaw and Choctaw dish, and it consists of cracked corn, hominy, and stewed pork. And so a little basic, but my Mexican side is like, where's the spices? However, this is the way that they make it in when I say they, my relatives, I don't really make this. I don't really eat it because, like I said, it's really I want more spices to it. However, we actually had a family gathering over the past weekend, and so during our family gatherings, there's always pashofa at the gathering. And so one of my fondest memories of my one of the family gatherings is that my grandpa would cook pashofa in like a huge cauldron looking pot, and it was enough to feed, our family gathering of, I mean, there was a lot. I have a lot of family members that would come in for our family gatherings, and so it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. Even if I don't like it, it's still like I have memories from, my grandpa making it. I lost him at a very young age, and so it's just something that I hold on to. However, in saying all of that, I actually have never really tried it. I don't think as an adult. So it's like this is raw, y'all. This is gonna be it. Okay.
Ooh, we get to join in your first taste. Let's go.
And I mean, like, I know it's bland. That's why I'm like, that's why I
Mm-hmm.
never really try it, is because like I knew it's not spicy to my liking. And even my sisters, I told her something of what I was doing, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't even add salt." And I'm like, "What? You don't even eat salt?" So here we go. I'm just trying to find a little good bite. Okay, so this is the cracked corn, the hominy, and the pork.
Drum roll.
Um, Okay, I mean, yeah, I really
Yeah,
wish that
we
there was
we
like,
definitely put the spotlight on you.
oh God. Okay, here we go. No salt either. Yeah, exactly. There's some, listen, real natives, they just live off the land, and so there's not a lot of, at least my where my tribal nations, just kind of lived off the land, basic foods that we could get. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, here we go. I'm gonna try it. Mm.
Wait for it.
Okay, listen, hear me out. It's not bad. It's just bland. That's all. Like, I just need some spices. That's all I need, okay? And I'm good. Maybe some jalapenos in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I mean, it'll be my new tradition, like with um, you know, a different lens. I'm like, maybe I need to kick it up for them and be like, listen, y'all, we are mixed out here. I have my Mexican blood and in what spices. So, but it's not bad. Like, honestly, I could eat it. It's just definitely needs some salt and pepper for
Yeah.
sure.
How's
But
the texture for the rest of us that might not have ever had this? And is there something similar that we can kind of get that texture in our mind, what we can relate to?
well, so the texture, I mean, obviously it's cracked, it's hominy. So think of like wild rice, like, and that's spoiler alert, that's part of another dish. However, if you pair it with something, it's that like the pork kind of overpowers it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a good balance. It's just and also reminds me of like masa, like in tamales, like that, that little taste of, if you were to eat masa by itself, it kind of has just like that little bland kind of taste. And so that's where like adding meat, I feel like, is just the kicker.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the chat says, I love bland. Good for you.
Belly button, listen, look up pashofa. I'm gonna put it in chat just for you if you ever want to try a tradish Chickasaw and Choctaw meal.
All right,
But it was good.
let's thank you, Angie, for showing us that dish and also giving us a little bit of history and your memory about that with your grandfather. That was really touching. Thank you so much. We're gonna
Yeah.
switch up the. I'm gonna keep you guys on your toes tonight. We're gonna go counterclockwise. Cedar, what do you have for us for supper today?
Mine's also just sort of like, nothing special, just like comfort food for myself and other coastal natives, it is fish and rice.
Mm.
It's just canned salmon. I think this is sockeye salmon and just rice. I added Tabasco sweet and sour hot sauce to it for a bit of flavor other than fish. And I usually fry up or like roast some bell peppers and add seaweed to it, so it's sort of like a little fancy. But I didn't have time today to do that, and this is just like a huge comfort food for me. I used like my grandparents used to make it for me and my dad as well. And like another version, and it's like very like Canadian. My Canadian side's going to show add craft dinner or mac and cheese with fish as well as another option for this. I don't have Katie anymore, but fish and rice is just perfect. It's just when you don't feel like cooking and want something fulfilling. This is what I usually go for. And
Can you show
as
the
y'all,
people your dish again? We got to get a good look of it. That was so
it's,
quick.
it was just, it's nothing special. It's like not the
Okay.
most appealing. And then it's just fish and canned salmon mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Would you
Yeah,
like to
and
take a
like
taste of it? We because we're literally all waiting. We're on the edge of our seats.
I have no appetite today,
Oh
so
no.
I'm probably not gonna eat as much as
Yeah.
before. So maybe during throughout this stream, but right now I don't really have a appetite.
All good then. So again,
Mhm.
comfort food. That sounds good to me. I mean, even in my culture, I would say my last meal, if someone were to ask me what would be your last meal, that's actually one of them is just that white steamed fluffy rice, jasmine rice
Mhm.
with steamed fish. So
Mhm.
that's beautiful to my ears.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad it's universal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sage, what did you bring to supper?
Oh boy, I
Ooh.
brought so much food, but I'm gonna start with my favorite. So, this is pasteles. It is kind of a mash of things that kind of looks like a tamale. It's wrapped in banana leaf. We do not eat the banana leaf. I learned that the hard way when I was 10. Um, but inside of the banana leaf is it's kind of like a tamale. It's got cassava in it. It's got plátanos like plantains, and this one has chicken. And of course, you know the best way to eat this is forever with hot sauce. And what I can say very confidently is that my nation we had peppers, we had hot sauce, and we also had a lot of salt. We were very fortunate to live on the sea and had that. So you know, you always just put aged hot sauce on top of the pastelas,
Oh,
and it
did
is.
everybody see that? Sage just like quickly just like drizzled real nonchalantly.
I know what I like. I know what I like, and I just know what I like. So it's highly nostalgic for me because it's what my grandma and my grandpa like they would have this all the time, and for a while we couldn't really get the materials for it because of where we lived, and when we visited them they always had the materials, and so sometimes I would only get it a couple of times a year, but it is so good. And I'm gonna take a bite now because I'm drooling. Mm,
Oh,
yes, it
that
is.
looks so good.
Mm. You know, when you take a bite of something and you're just transported through time, and it's like all of a sudden the house smells like, you know, like rice and beans and pasteles, and there's like laughing and there's music playing, and it's just like you're there again. It's really quite good, quite nice.
Absolutely. I love that scene you just painted for us. That just sounds so fun and warm, in the presence of like warm, loving family. That's beautiful.
Mhm. Everyone is so loud in my family, which I love because it's like I personally don't prefer a lot of sound. I like soft music and gentle voices. But when I come around my family, if it is soft music and gentle voices, I'm bored and I'm disappointed. I need loud, I need rugged, I need resi. I need it. If there's not a single person going, not even at the top of their lungs, I'm out. I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to someone else's family on the res. I'm going elsewhere.
Yeah, that sounds like the perfect ubiquitous family gathering, where you can finally just be yourself, no judgment. You're in the presence of loving people, so you can just
Mhm.
finally express and laugh and enjoy each other's company. I love that.
Yes, it's great.
Going to someone else's family on the res is wild. Oh, are
Okay,
we?
listen. Okay, listen, because I know who said it without even looking. I know Dom said it. Um, Everyone, we're all family. We're all cousins, right? We're all cousins. I can go to another auntie's house if the vibes are off. It's fine. It's fine. I can do that. I will get yelled at about it later, but it's fine for the moment because guess what I'll get is more pasteles about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in
Well,
trouble.
and can you remind me what filling is
Oh
the
yes.
pastelis that you have?
So this one has a lot of cassava root and platanos. And cassava is like it's a very specific kind of root. You can find it in a lot of places, but um on our lands it's like really 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 plentiful. So it's what we use to make flour. It's what we use to make starch
Hmm.
and how we like thicken up other things like soups and stews and like tembleque and stuff like that. It's everything gets thickened and that's kind of what you add to the plantain once you mash it up and it makes this kind of like mush is the best way I could describe it. It's like a really flavorful mush and then you add in all your spices and your meat and your veggies and then you just have it.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Okay. I feel like, so I was just thinking, I feel like a lot of ethnic cultures have a version of this. So if we're talking about Thai, Vietnamese, Asian as well. That ubiquitous steaming something in banana leaf is just so fragrant, especially in Thai food. Like that's the immediate one that comes to mind right now with the coconuts and the rice, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for
It's
sharing that with
useful.
us. Angie.
I want to borrow some of that hot sauce though, so I can
Yeah.
finish this
Yeah,
bashofa.
what hot sauce is
Yeah.
that? Hook us up. Let me see. Wait, let me see again.
So this is Chano. It's a Mexican one, actually.
Let me get a
It's
close up for us.
yes, it's the hot
Mm,
sauce, but it's the aged hot sauce.
okay.
Nothing
Ooh,
else is as good.
it has
The closest that you
that.
can get to it is like Tapatio, maybe, but I
Yeah.
will actually type it in the chat for our hot sauce aficionados
Yes,
because
please. Thank you.
it is delicious.
You know,
Some Cholula on
yeah,
it.
every for everyone except for belly button because apparently they like it bland.
Yeah, you could just have the pashofa without anything. And I was looking at the recipe because I was like, I wonder, how much salt and pepper goes into it. But literally it's 3 ingredients. Are you ready? It's the cracked corn, the pork, and water. There is no seasoning in this thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's literally what they ate. But, hey, listen. It's it's so good. Um yeah, definitely I think my Mexican shines in my food palette.
For me, if I remember from childhood, the parents and the grandparents, aunties, all the elders essentially, they would the only time that they would force us to eat really really bland is when you're sick, so that your body can just
Mm-hmm.
easily and focus on digesting nutrients from the food and eating really easily digestible food like congee. Congee is just really cooked down rice, like super super cooked down, like it's almost
Oh,
porridge texture. Yeah, that's what we would definitely eat, and no seasoning at all is preferable. So I feel that. I feel like that one, that sounds to me something that would be very comforting to eat when you just need something to easily digest.
that makes sense though. Like whenever you're sick and just something like chill on your stomach.
Yeah, yeah, something
Um,
easy.
okay, you want to do the second one?
Yeah, I'm ready for your second dish.
All right. Well, in so the second dish, I have more education for you. Um, so this is shout out to a local organization called Cultural Hub that provided this cool little pamphlet, and it talks about the reason why I want to bring it up because it talks about food sovereignty within indigenous communities. And so I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. So I'm going to read a little bit of information that it says so you can kind of understand how foods mean to indigenous communities. And you all can, I don't want to speak for everybody, but you all can talk about if you relate to what this is talking about. It says, what is food sovereignty? Food sovereignty is the inherent right of indigenous peoples and local communities to grow, harvest, and share food in ways that honor their traditions, lands, and future generations. It is about reclaiming relationships with the earth, ensuring access to nourishing, culturally significant foods, and resisting corporate control over food systems. And then it goes into these guiding principles of food sovereignty, and it says it's rooted in the land, reconnect with the land and local food sources, honor traditional knowledge, revitalize traditional food waves, and seed remuneration, wait, you know what? I'm gonna like butcher it even more. Moving on. Live in balance, grow food in harmony with nature, lead locally, empower communities to control their food systems, respect providers, support farmers, fishers, and harvesters. Food is medicine, ensure access to nourishing cultural foods. And then it talks about food sovereignty versus food security. And so we kind of talked about food sovereignty on how, it's um like our right to live off the lands, and then food security is basically like commodity foods that were the government giving foods to indigenous communities and saying eat this. um uh and so it um then talks about the three sisters, which is corn, beans, and squash. And so it was the way that the indigenous people planted foods together because they like helped each other. And so it's actually the proper way to farm, like for the soil, for the plants, and they all work together. That's why it's called the three sisters. Um, and then so it kind of gives this illustration where corn provides a natural pole for beans to climb. Beans enrich the soil with nitrogen and stabilize the corn from winds. And then squash spreads across the ground, keeping moisture in the weeds out. So, with all of that being said, um, I did the Three Sisters medley with wild rice because it is something that we ate. And so this is my little mixture. And Velvet, you have this too, right?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, are we doing this
Here we
together?
go. Here's mine.
Okay.
I try to make it pretty for you.
Mm.
All right. Mm.
Okay, honestly, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I thought there's blossoming vinegar in this one, and I thought it would overpower it, but it actually is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna spell that word that I was having trouble with because I can hear it in my head, but sometimes whenever I'm like speaking, um, I cannot get it out. So, but yeah, I just threw mine together. I'm not like velvet. I just threw
Oh,
it
so
all
were we supposed
together.
to mix it? Mix
Yeah,
it all together?
actually, I mean, it's all gonna be together anyways, but I feel like
It ends up in the same place in our stomach.
it's the rice, I think it's a good combination because
Mm-hmm.
without it, like when you eat the Three Sisters by itself, it's kind of like that blossoming vinegar, at least for this recipe. It's overpowering, but when you eat it with like the rice, it kind of takes away that overpoweringness or whatever.
Yeah, I made this just last night based on a new recipe that Angie shared. And I wanted to make sure I did it exactly the way she was going to do it. So last night I did feel like it was a little bit too tart because of the balsamic vinegar was just taking over the whole show. But now today, after it's kind of sat a little bit, it's always like that with food, right? With the food science, it's always you give it a moment for everything to congeal together. And then I heated it up before the stream. It's actually a nice little tartness, and it's like a savory tartness with the zucchini that I have here and
Yeah,
the purple wild rice.
I
Mm-hmm.
use squash.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but yeah, no, I agree. I think even from an hour ago that we this was made, um, it like the balsamic vinegar isn't as overpowering anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
interesting thing. It just needs some meat.
Yeah. This is like a good side dish, or maybe if someone is vegetarian, perhaps that one. This is really good. It's savory, satisfying. You mentioned about the farming, so I wanted to kick it over to Sage really quickly. I love what you just shared with us. The mention about going back to our roots, like human roots of having good, healthy food in terms of the source of our produce, because I know for a lot of us in the modern eras now, depending on what country you're in, we go to the grocery store for most of our produce, right? As many of us do, and a lot of the produce these days, or at least the source of it, it's not as pure or healthy as we would like. Sometimes it's a little bit adulterated with pesticides and things like that. Or I wanted to mention when we were preparing for this stream for a couple weeks now, Sage had mentioned this. This is the amazing thing about our Indigenous friends here. Sage said that, "Hey, girl, I'm gonna be a touch late because we're farming right now. We're doing like a gardening with my mom." And when she came on, Sage told us about how exactly they put their garden together. And I love. Would you like to share?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it. So with my family, every single year we like to grow our own gardens. We use entirely indigenous methods, and we don't use chemicals, or herbicides, or pesticides, or anything like that. And we get a lot of produce out of it, and we're able to feed like the neighborhood if we can. Um, but when we first begin it, when we organize the seeds and we prepare to kind of propagate everything and let it kind of sprout on its own before we plant it, we do like a little bit of ceremony over the seeds to sort of send them on their journey correctly. It's like a giant thank you thanks in advance for everything that you're going to do for us. And it's also a promise that everything that we do for you from now on, like we have taken care of you through this dormant state of childhood into this new life. And because of that, we make a promise to you that we will protect you as much as we can from things that would do you harm. Um, and I mean, granted, there is that sort of cycle of life that goes on. You can't protect these plants from everything, and it would be selfish to do so. It would be selfish to deny the rabbit a little munch. It would be entirely overly superior of us to assume that this food is only meant for us. But what we promise these seeds is that, for the time that you are too vulnerable, too small, we'll take care of you until you're old enough to give back to the rest of the world like we do. So that's kind of what it is.
And I thought that it was just so interesting, just as Angie was mentioning, that you all were planning not in the classic, what we think of like industrial farming, the grid style, the rows of farming. You all were planting in more of like a circular, more natural formation so that each plant helps each other out. Like I think Angie, did I catch you say the squash, the way he grows, he keeps the perhaps pests away from the other crops. So that's what I thought was so interesting that Sage and her family were doing. And I think that's super cool. I don't think we don't have that knowledge like anymore as like a kind of like a general thing such as don't touch the stove because it's going to be hot, with your bare hands. Like that common knowledge thing. Just because of modern conveniences now. So I love hearing about this being kept alive.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of one of those things that I think if people had, I apologize. Please don't tell them about the condiment sandwich. Okay, I was low on funds, and my ancestors looked upon me with shame as I made this. Oh my god!
Wait, now I want to know
We're-
about this condiment sandwich.
We cannot ignore
Is
that.
this like ketchup and mustard?
Like mayo and bread.
So what happened was,
Yeah.
I was a bit low on funds and a bit low on groceries. And
Okay.
it was winter, and I did not want to forage because it is cold and I am a baby. And I was hungry, and I had bread, and I looked in the fridge, and I had some condiments, some condiments. And I sat there, it's an hour of the night that I probably should have been sleeping, and I wasn't because I was a little peckish. I was a little hungry. And so I was like, you know what? This seems like a good idea. And it was an idea. It was an idea. And basically, what ended up happening was I had a sandwich. I had Miracle Whip on the sandwich. And then I put red raspberry jam on the Miracle Whip and closed the sandwich. And I ate it. And it was not terrible.
You know what? We
I'm
listen
sorry.
and we don't judge.
My face is otherwise, but like.
Yeah. I no, I'm not judging. I've been there, as far as like being low on funds and you gotta do what you gotta
Absolutely.
do. I just, this is actually. Can I make a comment? This shows how innovative Indigenous people are with our foods. So Sage
the
is
new
just taking it
survival
to a whole
food.
next level. That
Yeah.
listen, I don't know if I would try it, but
Don't
do you.
love yourself, Angie. Love yourself and try something else.
I
Like,
mean,
Vulgar fry
listen,
bread.
I
Here's
did.
a
I
new
tried
survival food.
pashoka. Yeah.
Look, we've all been there. We've been
I
in
mean, have we,
that.
Velvet? Have we? Have we?
have we really? I think we've been I could have just done one. I could have just put the jam on the bread and had the toast. It's just that it
Yeah,
didn't. It
that's
seemed
true.
like a breakfast food, and it was maybe 2 a.m. And that just 2 a.m. is not breakfast food time, unless it is. But it wasn't.
You know what? I think you listen, Velvet, for another show. I think you need to have Sage bring her our famous condiment sandwich, and y'all both try it.
Honestly, we're gonna definitely have an episode like that. Now, I mean, I need to write that down just so I don't forget. These more like quirky episodes, something like the late night,
Cravings.
yeah,
Late night
late
cravings.
night.
Late night struggle sandwich.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there you go. There
Oh
you
my
go.
god.
It's totally fine. But there are better things we could eat. For example, my next food. Which-
No, I think
what a
that's a good
segue.
That is actually a good transition because, like I said, we're innovative, and what you have next is an innovative way of what we were given instead of what we made.
Absolutely. If any of you know anything about Indigenous food in general, you will know there's just one thing that we are super famous for, other than corn and it just being generally just great and just great people, good family. We got fry bread. We got fry bread, and this is well, I guess it's there are a few different stories of how it happened, but what I was told is as a child was that during the Trail of Tears, during the Great Walk, the long walk, we weren't really allowed to forage much. We weren't allowed to do a whole lot of the stuff that would normally sustain us. We were given flour, and we were not really told how to use it, and we didn't use it kind of the same way that they did. And so, what we did was we made it into like a soup, like a soupish type of thing. But we started getting sick from that. And so, what I was told as a child, and I know that a lot of people have different versions of this, was a young girl kind of snuck up and watched the different soldiers cooking their own stuff. And she didn't understand it at first, but from what I was told, she was noticed, like they saw her watching. And these particular soldiers, these particular people were kind. And without so much acknowledging her, they went through it bit by bit, and they talked about it bit by bit. Well, you have to mix this amount and do that kind of thing. But she didn't understand everything, so she took it back and did her best approximation. They used what fat they had, what animal fat they had, and they mixed it up into kind of a pancake mixture, but they got it a bit different. And then they cooked it a little different in curved cookware rather than flat cookware, and it became this fluffy piece of deliciousness you see here. The way that most people have had it is in taco form. You just pile it with meat and toppings and stuff like that. You'll find that it's quintessential at the powwows. How I have it is a bit different because I experimented, and I just sort of went with what I found out. What I do is I have it in barbecue form. I put barbecue chicken on it, and then beans, and then coleslaw. But really, you can put whatever. I've had it with a really thick venison stew before, and it's been like, oof, it's so good. It's basically how you would use a like a tortilla or a pita bread. It's a bread. You add it to a food, and then you come up with the most delicious bites that you will have in your life, guaranteed. Fry bread is so good. And yeah,
Ooh, let's
it's
go.
just
Ooh, I have to join in and sage with this because this is a dish that I made
yeah.
as well. Okay, did I do okay this time? How's the color? Is it too
Oh
burnt?
yeah, no, you did great. You did
Okay,
great.
good. They're kind of
Yeah, that
small.
looks really good. That's the right color and everything.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, they are small, but that's you have to stretch the dough out real flat to get the big ones.
I'm
Mine's a medium
Ooh,
size.
that looks good.
I'm gonna admit
Good job.
I got a little lazy, and I didn't bust out the rolling pin
You don't need it. You don't
to
need it.
stretch it out. I was just using my hands.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
That's what I did. That's what I did. Yeah, you just the method that I learned is the dough is very sticky and fluffy when you
Yeah.
make it, and so um, you kind of get like about that much dough, and you toss it
Mhm.
back and forth in your flour coated hands until it's a little more firm, and then you kind of press it. You put it down on the board. You press out in circles until it's flat, and you make sure the middle is the thinnest part
Yes,
without
and
putting a hole.
I learned from you that you have to kind of pinch the middle a little bit so that it doesn't inflate too much and it can keep its like stretch.
Yes. Yes. That's really going to also be dependent on your amounts that you're putting in it.
Mhm.
Um, for me, it's I use all-purpose flour, but I've had the ones with the corn flour, and those are also really good. They don't rise the same, but they do taste so good. It's like a cornbread fry bread. It's
Mhm.
so good. Um, but it's I don't know how to explain the feeling that it gives me other than I just look at it and I'm like, I ain't never gonna be skinny. I look at this and I'm just like, I will eat this forever until the day I die, which if I eat the amount that I want to eat might be sooner rather than later. Because it's so good, but it's not fantastic for you per se,
Mhm.
but it's good for the soul, and I think that's what counts. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to take a bite and then we're going to do another round of intros. Hello, everybody from the front page. Welcome in. He joined us right on time for our supper. Let me take a bite of this fry bread with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have it savory. I have the dessert style. I have
Oh, like with the
drizzled.
honey on it?
I drizzle some honey
Oh,
this time.
so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's honestly like high key, kind of the best.
Absolutely. Looks like we lost Angie.
I'll ping her. Uh, but really what I like about fry bread is that you can kind
Mm-hmm.
of have it with anything and everything. Oh,
Oh
she
no,
says her
her
internet
internet.
crashed.
Yeah.
Did
What a
her
good cry.
did her internet crash? Is that what she
Yeah,
said?
she says
Yeah.
her internet crashed again, so she should be back within like
Oh
a couple
no.
minutes.
Okay. All good, all good. Well, welcome in everyone. In the meantime, fry bread, barbecue beans, so perfect. Yeah, exactly. Thank you
How
for
is it
joining us.
making
Uh-huh.
oh sorry. How is
Go
it
ahead.
making fry bread this time, Velvet?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for reminding me about the whole process. Yes. Guys, this is the generous, beautiful, kind personalities of our Indigenous friends here. Sage was literally offering like, you want to do this on Discord video? Just put your phone there. I'll tell you when to flip over your fry bread. I'll tell you the color and everything. You know, this is how wonderful our friends here are. Angie, Cedar, and Sage, and I've learned so much from their Indigenous culture and the stories that they shared with me behind the scenes about their family. They're just so loving and warm. You guys have no idea. So I'm just so grateful to have you guys here. Oh, Dirty, you do yours in the air fryer? Wait, I know we can
Ooh.
reheat this in the air fryer, but are you telling me that you do it from
No.
dough form? This is basically like a donut, from dough and then going into oil. Oh my
I am
gosh.
speechless.
I'm speechless too.
That's like the modern version of
We
way to
must
do
try
it.
this.
Nice. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
that's
so
the equivalent of attaching like your smudge to like a a leaf blower and then just mass smudging an entire. No, some things you just gotta do right.
Hey, work,
I mean, it was so efficient.
smarter and all. I need that recipe, Dirt. I need to know how to do that.
Yeah, you're not putting it on the so for example, the air fryers, there's like essentially two styles of layouts. Is it the oven style where it has like the racks, or are you doing it in like the little bucket pull thing? So you're essentially putting your dough on the flat surface, right? Dirty, we need to know.
So many questions.
It's a basket. Okay. So it's a basket style. So they're putting on that flat surface. Are you doing like 400 degrees? How many minutes? We need to test this out.
That way Sage knows instead of having another struggle sandwich, it'll be like,
Yeah.
easy, quick fry bread.
Though, the sage butter might be a move. It might be
Yeah.
a move.
Mm.
I like the sound of that.
You know what? A Dirt E99. I'm gonna need this recipe, not because I'm gonna try it, because I'm not, because it's wrong and it's sacrilege. Well, maybe I might read it.
Mm-hmm.
I might read
Curiosity is
it.
definitely not going to get the better of you.
Me? No, never. I'm sacred.
Sacred. Well, welcome in, everyone. Those of you all that just got here, welcome into Supper Stories. This is a podcast where guests eat the nostalgic childhood foods and share their most memorable stories about classic family suppers from their culture. So, we have a very special episode for you today for the Women's History Month, closing up Women's History Month with our Indigenous creator friends here. This is Angie Noel. Would you like to reintroduce yourself to our friends here?
Yeah, totally. Let me let me get ready.
Yeah, we are in the middle of dinner. It's okay.
So I'm Angie Noel. I am a Indigenous educator and content creator. I stream a variety of games, and I am starting to lean into doing more events on the platform, such as like educational trivia shows. Um, I am a part of the Twitch Women's Guild, the Latin Guild, the Pride Guild, and I co founded the Indigenous Alliance on Twitch. So if you are an Indigenous streamer and you have affiliate status, please go check out my page. And then there is a link to the application as we are trying to showcase the need for an Indigenous guild. So it's just a sense of community for Indigenous streamers on the platform. I think. Oh, and I'm Chickasaw Choctaw, Mississippi Choctaw, and Mexican, as you can see down there. It's also pronounced Chakasha and Chanta. And I think that's it.
Amazing. Thank you, Angie. Now, Sage, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay, and this time I'm gonna do it in my language because I did not do that the first time. So honey, nitaino sage, guaina, guaninia, taino ni taino, tohino ka naboria to, tatos to niko, Taikaraya. And that means basically like, hi, my name is Sage. I'm of the Guania Taino Nation. I am happy to be here to share culture and food with you. I am also a variety streamer with a focus on storytelling in all of its forms. So what games I do play, I review the storytelling aspect of them, and I run tabletop games in a world that I created in order to explore um, magic from an Indigenous perspective. So I use it as a method to share my own culture, and then I also use it as a way to share culture among the different nations. So every nation that's based in a particular nation, I have somebody from that nation there to build it with me, starting from language and ending in food. So that's me. I'm Sagely Bad Advice on everything. It's nice to be here.
Amazing. Thank you. Last but not least, Cedar.
True. Cedar Quakitlas, Wyatt, is a Husid, is Ninok, Ina, Ea Hatakshiklas. Hi everyone, my name is Cedar. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I'm from the DT Ahusit and Zauri nations within the Pacific Northwest. And the language that I just spoke there is DT or DT rather. And it's a dialect of Michal, but it's also an isolate, technically, as only our tribe and our neighboring tribes speak it, and it's unique to our area. Today is also National Indigenous Language Day within Canada here. There's over 70 languages. About 35 are within the province of British Columbia, so it's a quite diverse, quote unquote, province or area rather. And I speak uh, within the Wakashan language family linguistically, and they share a lot of similarities with each other. And I am a Fortnite streamer. It's so weird to say it's new, but that's what I do. Sometimes there's variety, but lately it's just been a lot of Fortnite. And on the odd occasion, I do some co working as well. And I'm also a part of the Indigenous Alliance here on Twitch and the coding and co working uh, group. I forget what I create a club. Create a club, that's the word. And yeah, just happy to be here. True.
Amazing. Thank you, Cedar. Newly, also AKA Fortnite streamer. Well, um, I'm Velvet. I stream very, very interactive streams where the chat have these tools that they can activate inside the chat to spray water at me, wind, make rain, literally rainwater, rain on me. All these very mischievous, fun things in our chat here. I also wanted to tell you guys that we are also raising money for 1000 Dreams Fund. That is a nonprofit organization that helps women with tuition costs through micro grants to help them with school, perhaps hardware upgrades, like maybe getting a new laptop, or perhaps mentorship, and even traveling to conventions that are really pertinent to their industry, their new career that they're entering into. So every dollar helps. If you guys would like to donate tonight, exclamation mark donate. And then also you can do exclamation mark 1000 to learn more about 1000 Dreams Fund. This month of Women's History Month, March, and also new update into April, the Twitch Women's Guild has come together to raise money throughout both the months. 75% of all the proceeds raised will go back to the Twitch Women's Guild to actually help out your favorite creators here with perhaps software upgrades and things of that nature. So thank you in advance if you're able to donate. And like I said, $1 helps. Even $1 helps. We already reached our $500 goal. We made a new stretch goal there. If you can see up in the corner, we're $100 away from our $600 stretch goal. So I love that you all shared in your language. It's just so rare that we get to hear Indigenous language and culture. So I'm just so happy you all have giving your time here today to share with all of us to learn more about your culture. So, food wise, things that I made with the group. This is from Angie's culture, the Three Sisters medley. I have zucchini, corn. There was supposed to be beans, but I can't really handle the beans. And then purple rice. And then from Sage's culture, well, actually, all of you all, the ubiquitous fry bread. So think of it as like a flat. I don't mean to. I hope it doesn't come across as rude, but to help others, like kind of get the texture, the idea. It's like a flat donut, right? Would we? Would that? Is that sort of close?
A basic
Crunchy,
nothing
very
on
crunchy.
it donut.
Yeah, dough fried in
Kinda,
oil.
yeah. It's like funnel cake meets
Funnel
donut
cake.
meets
Yeah.
meets like pita bread.
And Cedar was asking, how was it for me to make this a second time around? I love how simple the ingredients are, how pure. Flour, baking powder, salt, and warm milk. Did I get that right, Sage? And that's it. It's so simple and so good. So it's not adulterated with a bunch of other things. My culture is Chinese. I'm Chinese. Thank you for asking. We'll do an episode for AAPI month. All right. So, next up, Cedar, what do you have for us?
True. So I have smoked salmon. This is how my dad makes it because we have a small smoker, like a small electric smoker. So it's very small little pieces. Believe this is sockeye, just based on the color here. And something that we compared last time is how my smoked salmon is very different from what everybody else is used to.
Yes.
Really.
So
And
just to give everyone perspective, can you show yours again?
yeah,
So this is when you say smoked salmon, this is the most of us. We think like of this.
yeah, like half smoked, kind of cold smoke salmon. In
Mhm.
mine, very stiff, very, very tough. Kind of,
It's like
more
salmon
like a
jerky.
jerky. Yeah, it's more like a salmon jerky, and that's half. It's because back then that's how we used to preserve our food. Like we didn't have refrigerators back in the day, and this would have to last the winter season or the fall winter season. And um, like I said, this one's most likely just based on how red it is most likely sockeye, and preferably when it comes to smoked salmon in the smokehouse rather, a less oily, rich salmon, generally like a pink salmon or a dog salmon or something like that. So like when it's in the smokehouse for like several days, and you don't want that oil to drip all over the place. You just want minimal fish rendering for it. And generally, people smoke salmon during the fall time because the heat definitely affects how long it takes to smoke salmon, and how we at least my nation smokes salmon. There's a smokehouse, which is basically like a little wooden shed, or any shed rather, and just a fire going constantly. And like I said, this is how my dad makes it because he uses a electric smoker because we live within the city, and you're not allowed to smoke houses in the city. So, but generally they're um, long pieces of smoked salmon, as long as the salmon is. And uh, many different families have their own way of cooking it. I am very biased that my great aunt makes the best salmon, smoked salmon, and it's just really really good. And it's probably one of my favorite things to have. And I'm very fortunate that I have access to smoked salmon, as many folks do not even with my own nations. It's definitely a delicacy. And especially when it's like this, I like taking
Yeah.
this when I go hiking, like when it's nice and
I'm sorry,
small.
is
And
that a bag? We must look. One
yeah, it's a
second,
big, it's a
please.
big, it's a big smoked
Whoa.
salmon. um, I like taking little bags like this when I go hiking. The bears probably smell me, but like,
Oh my God, yes. Oh no. I mean, no, no.
but like, it's really great, and it's just a nice little snack to have.
Yeah, I find that so interesting. I've never come across this ever before, the smoke jerky like, but this is the true indigenous way, the smoked, truly smoked salmon.
Mhm.
And you mentioned you grew up with smokehouses in your tribe, is that right?
Yeah, and within the reserves, because
Wow.
the city regulations don't affect reserves. Uh, and my home community, I love going home like late September, early October, because all the smokehouses are going off, and it's just really, really cool to smell the salmon, smoked salmon, the fire going constantly, and it's just a really, really cool experience. And um, I actually used to spend my late fall. There's different salmon runs for different areas. And for one community, the dog salmon's generally during late October. So I would go help my grandpa um, fillet the salmon and get prepare it and put it in the smokehouse, and we would just spend time uh, doing that. Even though I personally didn't at that time didn't eat salmon because my body just couldn't process it at that time. So, but I still wanted to learn from my grandparents how to process salmon for smoking and other means as well. And when we were waiting for it to cure, we would um, spend time together and share stories. My grandpa was like the best storyteller, in my opinion, and he would just share stories of his childhood growing up in the home territories or other fun stories. And it's just a really great communal family experience.
That's beautiful. How do you remember how old you were running around the
Yeah,
smokehouses and helping out grandpa?
that was when I was a teenager, so like
Teenager. Okay.
preteen, teenager kind of years. Uh, when I lived at home, I was like 5 to 8 years old. But when I actually helped my family process salmon, it was when I was a teenager.
And I think you mentioned one time about the fat in the salmon
Mhm.
is very representative of the season. Can you share that with us?
Um, yeah, so I I am very spoiled and grew up with my dad and my other grandpa being a fisherman. So always had access to ocean salmon. But nowadays, the salmon that I get from my home community, my dad's from up north and my mom's from the central area. And up north, that's all ocean salmon. But within my mom's home community, it's river salmon. And they have completely different tastes. Most people don't notice it, but they do. Uh, in the ocean, it's really nice and rich and oily and fatty. But once they start heading towards the river, they start losing that fat and it becomes more subtle. And not many people notice it. And I have a huge preference for ocean salmon, but nowadays I'm not that picky. But it's definitely uh, a personal preference. Like when elders get older, they definitely prefer like river salmon and different types of salmon because they have less of that fattiness to the salmon, so their bodies can sort of process it better. But when you're younger, you love the nice fat salmon. Yeah.
And is there a Do you notice the salt level? Like how seafood has that natural saltiness? Is there a
Yeah.
difference in the more fatty ocean salmon to when they transition into river salmon?
Yeah, I think that is part of it as well. Like they definitely have that natural saltiness for the ocean salmon, and even like with the smoked salmon. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where we got this salmon, but like um, some people brine the salmon before smoking it. Some people don't, and
Mm-hmm.
that's totally preference on whether it's river salmon or ocean salmon. I think.
Right, right.
Hmm.
That's amazing. I never knew that. Ocean salmon can go into the rivers and they transition and they lose their fat. They become less fattier. And I totally understand the sentiment. Hey, when you start to get a little older, you definitely prefer less fatty everything. Probably better to digest. I feel that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Amazing. Well, Angie, did you
Hello.
have that? I think you mentioned something about your tribe before to me, if I can remember correctly. Forgive me if I have it mixed up. That
Okay.
your tribe is considered assimilated, the most assimilated, it's the quote unquote
Yeah.
civilized tribe. Would you like to share about that?
Yeah, so Sage kind of shouted out the Trail of Tears, and my tribe, two of them were specifically on that journey, and came over here from the southeast to Indian Territory, which they call Oklahoma. So Oklahoma is home of 39 tribal nations. It's one of the highest, the second to the highest states, United States. Of let's see, the second highest state within the United States that has the highest indigenous population of tribal nations. And so behind Alaska, we have the most. And so with that, we also had the most boarding schools. And the boarding school era, um, kind of took out a lot of our culturals, a lot of our languages, and as you can see, Sage and Cedar both knew their language, which, I don't want to use it as an excuse that I shouldn't, try to learn my language. However, as anyone that knows, trying to learn a second language is a lot of brain power, especially as you get older. So I am trying to, I know basic ones, kind of like my Spanish. And so I hope over time that I still just incorporate more into my, just kind of vocabulary. My grandparents were fluent Chickasaw speakers. And so that's something that was taken away, just like, although Spanish is not the language of Mexico or anything, but my experience with like Spanish where I wasn't taught is because hey, you live here, we need, as you're in school, we need you to speak English. And so that's kind of where the boarding school era really impacted a lot of tribal nations, not just in the United States, Canada as well. And so that's something that took away a lot of, our indigenous cultural. And so the tribes, the big ones here in Oklahoma, are called the five civilized tribes. And I don't like it because it is like, it's calling us civilized. And I don't want like that's making us like saying that we have to form into this other identity, which I'm all about. Our indigenous sovereignty and our indigenous rights to, be who we are and speak our languages. And so yeah, that's kind of the gist of where that comes from.
Hmm. I love that you mentioned keeping languages alive, at least one from your culture. I didn't really come to appreciate that. Maybe I think college years is when I finally had that consciousness of like, oh my gosh, it is good to know your own language. You know, if not just whatever country you're in that as your first language, but to also additionally know your, I guess what you call it, your mother tongue. You know, where you came from, who you came from, your ancestors, and to really appreciate knowing that and having being bilingual, trilingual. With it's pretty common with Chinese, Vietnamese folks to know maybe 4 or 5 dialects, different languages, like total together on top of English. So do you all find that if you are at your reservations or you're with your family gatherings, the loud, fun family gatherings, as Sage was mentioning earlier, do you guys hear or like, does it happen to you where you're speaking to maybe one auntie and then you transition into like one sentence has included maybe 2 or 3 languages? Does that happen? You know what I mean? Like you go from English and then maybe to your native language, and then like it kind of transitions really quick. You like fire off with different people,
Yeah.
different languages.
For me, I'm a silent speaker of my languages, so I comprehend my languages because I spoke them with my grandparents when I was a kid. And my dad was the same. My dad's the same way. He's a silent speaker for Kwakwala, but he learned my mom's languages as well. And so if you ever listen to us talk, it's English, Kwakwala, Likwala, Nichal, and Dot, 5 different languages. And we just choose whatever word or phrase comes to our mind first, and we both understand each other. So yeah, I find that I experience that a lot just because of how I was raised. And I'm really, really fortunate to have been raised like that because our generation doesn't have that opportunity as much. The newer generation, for sure, as we are prioritizing our languages. Yeah, I definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
It's less so for me, honestly. Taino is at this point mostly reconstructed. Like there are certain words, certain statements that kind of get passed down, but a lot of people from my nation actually speak more Spanish than Taino. The language lives. We don't have words for everything like we used to, but we have enough words to form sentences. We have personal pronouns, and that's really the defining factor of if is this language viable? Do you have personal pronouns, and do you have the ability to assign intention? The big thing that I did learn as a kid and then through to adulthood though was that there are some words that only men can say. There are some words in our language that only women can say. But if you're two-spirit, you can say all the words and no one can tell you no.
Oh
It's
wow.
it's like a way to and some of the words, like if you're a woman you're not allowed to learn the man's word, or if you learn it you're just not supposed to say it, and it's the same in reverse. And for that it's more than anything a case of it's not gender dividing as much as it is allowing people with that particular like calling, that particular spirit in them, to be able to have a word specifically from them to another person. Like the word for women that men say, um, it kind of compares a woman to a like a demigod. It's just like, that person that I would give my soul to, that person that I would, that I would fight, Huracan himself for, is like their word for a woman. But then a woman's word for a man is, he is so smart when he is smart, and he is so beautiful when he is beautiful, but he is not both at the same time. And I love all sides of him, no matter what is there. But it's very much we love them. We love them. And
Wow.
it's really just fun. It's I don't know. It's nice. It's
Hmm.
it's nice to have those little sweet details, but it doesn't
Okay.
happen every other sentence.
So it's not like a whole, maybe most of us might potentially be thinking like me right now, where it's not like a whole separate track of language specifically for the females to utilize. It's just like certain key, certain words. Is that right? Am I understanding that right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. And you also mentioned there were, I think, words that have survived and that we utilize today in our
Yep.
modern language. That's from your culture. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, that is definitely true. There are words that we use in the English language that I don't think a lot of people know are actually Taino words. For example, there's hammock. Amok is the word for it, and it's just that hanging thing. Hurricane is also our word. We have a spirit. His name is Hurakan, and he is the one who brings chaos in order to bring balance. He is the storm. And then we have actually mojito. Mojito is our word. So when you have mojito sitting at a bar, just thank your Taino for that one.
Amazing, amazing. Now, I believe it's back to Angie. Was there another dish that you had, I believe?
I did not make this one,
Mm-hmm.
so you should have an example of what it looks like. However, this dish is again near and dear to my heart because it is a popular dish that is made several different ways. But my mom would always make this, and it's something that I enjoyed. Minus the cheese though, because your girl is like lactose intolerant. And I just don't like the cheese. But goulash is my next dish that I wanted to talk about. Um, I love it um the way that my mom preps it, which is like from the elbow macaroni and then the ground beef and some rotel. And I mean, see, so they get a little bit of like spice to it. And so it's just been a staple throughout my life that my mom knows that I enjoy it. Usually it's made to it comes to the like family gatherings as well. However, it's kind of limited now. Unfortunately, so long story short, my family gatherings have been kind of thrown off lately in the past several years. Um, the house that my grandpa built unfortunately like caught on fire, and so like um it's not livable, and so where we used to like gather and do everything, we've had to kind of alternate and find other stuff to meet, and so it just doesn't give it that same feel, unfortunately, because we meet like several times a year, at least like 4 times a year. um and so we've had to like adjust that. But yeah, usually there's goulash, and I always tell my mom like, hey, what's your recipe? And I mentioned it last time, like she wrote it down, and she has like really pretty handwriting. I always enjoy this about her handwriting, but I lost it and I was too scared to ask her for it again. But just as a little like something to hold on to, um and turn it into, I've seen those like made into like a kitchen towel or something, and so I thought that would be really cute to have her handwriting of the goulash staple that I grew up with. And so um yeah, that's kind of the other dish that I had in mind. Again, other people make it all kinds of different ways. I think some people add corn to it. Obviously there's cheese on this one. uh and again, it's like it's ingredients that kind of came from commodities as well, if you think about it. And so, um, yeah, taking what was given to us and innovating it to things that we want to eat.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us, Angie. And also, so sorry to hear about the grandfather's house. Like someone in the chat was saying, just, yeah, losing an anchor. I like that. I like that term, though, an anchor house,
Yeah.
the memories. But I know you guys will have a new place to gather at, a new designated anchor house to make new memories for future generations.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
once we can get like funding and all of that stuff, I mean, because some of the wood, like he taught himself how to build. And
Wow.
so his handwriting is on some of the wood because he would like, mark it and stuff. And so that's one reason why they don't want to just demolish the house is because it has his soul in. I mean, like he literally, sweat and tears into that house and built it and, you know, um, taught himself. I mean, he was not an English speaker. We actually, a couple of generations ago, I think it was one of my great greats, hired an English teacher so that way that they could learn English because they weren't like fluent English speakers. And so sometimes I think about that because I wonder if they didn't, then like we wouldn't have got a little bit further ahead. Um, in a way of like privilege of like learning English and learning how to navigate this whole system because if you think about it they were like speaking their fluent languages and trying to figure out like well the government telling me to do this and do that and there's actually a story about how when the Dawes rule, which is the role where you're supposed to say like, "Hey, I'm this tribe or tribal nation," and then they give you like this blood quantum and or restrictions and all of this, and it's also by the nations. The nations, we're sovereign nations, so we're our own government entities, and so we should be allowed to put requirements on our citizenships. However, like um my whenever the government was like come back and tell us like come to the office or whatever and you got to tell us like what tribe you are or whatever and one of my greats didn't want to he like literally just the story is that he sat outside the office and he did not want to go and talk to them. It's like one of those rebellion. I mean, I don't think it's rebellion, I just think it's just straight up like you know um you're telling me what to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just like, frustrated, and I can't imagine what they had to deal with. Um, so unfortunately, like, they had to, like we talked about the civilize and assimilate because of the boarding school era, but my cultural is still rich. I mean, my grandpa played stickball. That's where like lacrosse came from. He's a big stickball player. They were swamp dancers, things like that. So very involved. It just, kind of one of those things that um we have to revitalize it or it's going to go away.
Right. And I
So
thought that it was something really important that you mentioned that I don't think many of us realize or actually just realize. But the indigenous tribes, you guys were given, you mentioned the keyword commodities because the government didn't want you all to continue your culture. So they even, unfortunately, God, this breaks my heart, but to know that they don't want you all cooking your own food, your style of food.
well,
You were given like commodities only and kind of like forced, this is what you're going to use now. Is that right?
yeah. So, indigenous people were the healthiest people throughout the world. If you look at it, we live, because it's also, it's a global thing. Like there's indigenous people to certain lands. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
means is to be of the land, right? And so we lived off of the land. And we were very healthy because of that. Everything that we ate came from the land. And like Sage mentioned, we would thank the land. We would appreciate the animal for like it was seen as a sacrifice of you giving up your life to feed us so we can do, so we can live on. They were our relatives. We treated them like relatives, and we
Mm.
still do, and with that, it's like something the government came and said, no, we want your land. We want to, we don't see you taking, like, using it to its full, like, extent, which is basically, industrial revolution kind of came in. And so it's disheartening that a lot of that stuff, even like our teeth, I went down the rabbit hole of like our whole dental stuff. Like, we were very healthy with our teeth. We used like birch wood, I believe, for like toothbrushes and stuff. So we were very healthy with that. But then we got sugar, from colonization and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what ruined a lot of dental within indigenous communities. But yeah, in bison was a whole other thing that we used to, eat and live off of. We used to use the whole bison for, all kinds of various things. And it went almost to extinct. It wasn't until, like, they had to step in and, like, put them as, what's the word that I'm looking for? To basically preserve all the bison that were, like, left. But they were literally, if you go down the rabbit hole, it's so sad on how they just took out bison because they saw it as a way to, again, to take away what indigenous people were eating. So they were like, okay, we take away bison, what are they going to eat now, And so
Mm-hmm.
um commodities were, given, but that commodity cheese, that is a staple in indigenous communities. That it's this, think of Velveeta cheese, but big. It was like this
That
huge
we
chunk
call
of
that
cheese.
government cheese, that government block of
Yes,
cheese.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. That's what it is. And then the powdered eggs that we were given. Oh my god, it's some interesting food.
If I remember correctly regarding the
Endangered
bison,
species.
yeah, the
Yes.
the government destroyed uh
Yep.
their existence, and it was through like isn't it a poisoning? I if I am I remembering correctly?
There was a variety of ways. There was at
Okay.
one point they would, like, I think the trains, like, they would literally just shoot them. Like, there was so many different ways that they would just, like, take them out,
Yeah.
with no regard to our animal relatives.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, it's sad because if you haven't had bison, oh my god, it's like the best meat. Um, I made bison chili last time. But bison chili, bison burgers, just, you know, replace ground beef with bison and it's so much better.
Mm-hmm. Really quick, just a quick step over really quick.
Yeah.
Chef Toto, thank you so much for donating to the 1000 Dreams. Oh, sorry, I got tongue tied. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Chef Toto. Thank you for supporting women of all ages, all races. Thank you so much. This is how this community is. You're helping people that you'll probably never meet, and you're helping out young women perhaps reach their dream of becoming a bioengineer, going into STEM, becoming a doctor, going into politics to help the their community. So thank you for helping out with tuition costs, school. We know that's super expensive. Upgrading hardware, such as getting a laptop for school, mentorship. That's what 1000 Dreams Fund does. It is a nonprofit organization that provides micro grants. So, meaning like $500, $1,000, or maybe $1,500 to women in need that are wanting to pursue a career and launch their dreams. So, thank you. No, thank you. Chef Toto said for holding space for them and everyone else. Thank you all for supporting this and for hanging out with us and always going in hard whenever we have a charity. So thank you so much. And again, 75% of everything the guild raises in March And also in April, we'll actually go back to the Twitch Women's Guild to help out our creator friends that you might actually know here across Twitch that are launching their careers, and maybe they need help with upgrading a computer and things like that. And also, if you have a sister, have a daughter, have a lady friend, anyone that you know that is perhaps still going to school, or maybe they have a dream to pursue a career in any industry, can we do mods exclamation mark 1000 and get that link in the chat? Have them apply for a grant. I was actually a grantee last year. So Angie, Cedar, Sage, I hope you'll have the opportunity to apply. Thank you, you guys. There we go. 1000 Dreams Fund. They have funded over $1 million so far to women across the country with tuition costs and hardware, and pretty much just helping them out to pursue their dream and making it happen. And you guys are part of that. Thank you, thank you. Angie, Bison.
Yes.
My anger levels kind of escalated a little bit. That's why I was like tongue tied. I was like, oh no, Chef Toto did something so wonderful. And then your Bison story. My emotions got crisscrossed. This is all, by the way, so interesting stories that you guys are sharing with us. So thank you, Angie, Cedar, and Sage. These are things that we don't really hear too often about, or just don't have the opportunity to. So really appreciate that. Regarding the Bison, and yes, go ahead.
Well, as someone that has worked in education for throughout my career, the education system, and I've also traveled throughout at least the United States, and I will say that it seems pretty consistent across the board that it's very limited in the Indigenous area, and so it kind of depending on where you're at and what school and stuff, what you have access to, but it kind of like stops at the Trail of Tears and then it brings it like a
Right.
historical context. But Bison, like I remember my son even had an article and it was like, oh yeah, Bison almost went into this endangered species or like went extinct and stuff. And I was like, well, why? Why did it go extinct? You're right there. Just explain. Sorry, I do get very,
Absolutely. I feel your passion,
uh,
and I agree. There's lots of I mean, honestly, to me, side note, I would have been much more this is my wacky mind. I would have been much more engaged in school, specifically history class, if they would have included like the full stories throughout the eras of like the wars that we were learning about, things like that. Like, tell us more, you know? Like, I wish that the public school system allowed, I guess, the teachers, I'm sure they got their hands tied at some point, to be able to share more. And those I think are the more interesting facts. But what did you know? Bison today. Oh, it's so expensive. It's like a little
yep.
specialty at the store. Bison burger, ooh, lean, marketed as lean and healthy. And then, we learn about this unfortunate, ugly part of all of our history. I see this as all of us because we're all humans. We're all one together. So thank you for sharing
Thank you.
about that. I'm gonna switch it up. We got to keep each other on our toes. Cedar, you are
Sure.
up next.
Yeah, so I'll share the herring eggs so you can bring that picture up. For that one.
Okay.
Let me know when you have it up when you're ready.
Here we go.
So I totally forgot to take out the herring eggs from the freezer and thaw it out, so I don't have it today. But this is herring eggs, and the Kwakwalo way of saying is and ni channel central is Kwakmas and Barkley Sechmu and Ditadot Sechbu, and how it's harvested. There's two different methods. One in the picture there is hemlock trees branches, and the other method is rowan kelp. So you just throw a tree in the water, and the herring spawn will just go naturally on the branches or the kelp. And it's generally harvested around this time of year. It's actually happened probably earlier this month, and it's really really cool to see uh, in the areas that there are herring spawn because it's so lively. There's like sea lions, seagulls, eagles, just all the wildlife just want to get at the herring there, and it's just so lively and it's really really cool. Continuation of colonization and commercialism, herring um, population have gone down within the Vancouver Island Central Coast area, British Columbia, because of commercial fishing. And at least within the National Territory, we've closed down commercial herring fishing to get the population back up. And I think it's been like maybe like less than 10 years, and the population have gone up. And I think they're slowly doing the same thing within quote unquote the Salish Sea area as well. And I it makes a really, really cool sound when you do have herring eggs when they're steamed, how you prepare them. There's two different methods, but the one I prefer is steamed. You can also bake them, I think. That's the least common version, but I prefer steamed. And it makes a really, really cool popping sound, and I sort of wish I had it because it was very ASMR. And the Kwakwala word for that sound everybody's having on is untala, and that's just the crunchy popping sound of the herring eggs. And it doesn't really have a distinct taste to it. It's more like egg whites, kind of. It's like it's just sort of very bland, mild taste to it. But it's one of my favorite things. It's a delicacy just because um, there's not much herring population at the moment, but now it's starting to rise again and having a bit more access to it. But it's one of my favorite things ever.
Thank you, Cedar. Yeah, I think I was just about to ask you that because I know that the chat would be very curious as to what the texture is like. So it's like crunchy. I was imagining like kelp, like I know some ASMR videos, like you'll see people eating like seaweed and that little crunchy sound. And what was really cool that you showed us, because I was trying to decipher what the image was, I didn't realize that it was tree branches. So
Yeah.
branches, I had no idea that that's how you catch the herring eggs. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one I prefer.
Mhm.
Use hemlock branches. People try to use cedar branches, but you can't really have cedar. Um,
Is there a
but
particular reason?
cedar is medicine, and also if you have too much cedar, it's a bit toxic. So
Oh,
hemlock is the preferred traditional method.
wow.
And I like picking at it, and I also like the little hint of hemlock that you get with it as well. It just adds a bit of flavor to it. And I see a comment saying what the texture would be like.
Hmm.
Texture, no, it's very it's not like mashed potatoes. uh, I can tell you that. I don't know what to really compare it. They're like little bead clusters of little beads, kind of like it. So it's very, mm,
Maybe like how about this? Popping boba. Does anybody know what popping boba is?
yeah. But like
Like
imagine like
smaller.
very small, like they're very tiny little herring spawn there,
That's what it
and
was. Or like the sea grapes. Sea grapes is sort of,
yeah,
it
yes,
reminds me of
up
like the
there,
little balls,
yeah,
kelp style, and just munch on them.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, closer to roe or caviar, right?
Yeah, roe or caviar. It's herring roe, so that would make more sense. Yeah.
Thank you, Cedar. All right,
Mhm.
Sage. What do you have for us up next?
I have a dish called vianda, and it is here. This is mostly roots. You have things like a potato. I just almost dropped my entire fork, but I caught it. Reflexes, crazy. Yeah, it has potato in it. It has plátanos in it, like a plantain. It looks kind of like a banana, but it's a vegetable. But it's not. It's technically a fruit, but it's like a fruit, like a cucumber is a fruit. Okay, like we know technically, but it's a vegetable. And it also has taro in it, and it has yuca root in it. Um, and it also has bacalao, which is like a salted cod, which is how we preserved it. We didn't really smoke the fish so much like Cedar's nation does. We just put a ton of salt on it and dried it out, and then preserved it that way, and then would pull it out to add it in here with oils, and that's how we would just kind of flavor it. So it tastes delicious, like childhood, but it's like just very very starchy root flavor with the salt of the fish in it, and it's kind of what you can make when you don't have a whole lot, like you don't have the energy to cook a lot, you don't have the time. You just chop everything up, toss it in some water, boil it, and then mix it all up with the oil, and there's dinner.
Ooh, that sounds like my kind of dish. Protein and starches, like carbs.
Hmm.
Ooh, we see Cedar. Don't worry, Cedar has their appetite back. Are you eating the fish, and rice too?
And we just
Amazing.
got
And
a
now,
big long peal of thunder. Sorry about that. That
oh,
distracted
we
me.
actually didn't hear it. Yeah, no
Yeah, okay,
worries.
good. That was loud.
You did season it, right?
Um, with salt, with the salted cod. Now, this is probably the most bland dish that we have, but it still is really popping with flavor because the roots themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they have that flavor, and it's kind of like, you can eat French fries with just salt, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. Like, you want your dips and everything, but you still get the flavor, that quintessential flavor of the potato. It's the same thing with taro. It's the same thing with plátanos, and it's the same thing with yucaru. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing too. Plátanos has a different flavor for every section of its life, every part of its ripeness, and we have different dishes for each of those stages. This one, the plátanos is here. I'll show you. The plátanos is a very pale yellow. It's very it's not super colorful, and it doesn't have a ton of flavor to it. Give it a couple of weeks to ripen until almost every part of the peel is like a dark brown, like a dark brown black kind of color. And then it'll come out really sweet, and you can fry it up and have a thing called maduros. But right now, it's good for vianda.
Ooh. Yeah, I really do love Maduros. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Some sweet, really ripe Maduros and the butter.
The
Who
butter.
can say no?
Some people who I would go so far as to call treasonous have put it on ice cream before. Maduros.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I'm a little mad.
Coconut ice cream, perhaps? Kind of
You
keep it
know,
tropical.
I did read that there is a I think he is of the Sioux Nation, I
Hmm?
think, if I'm correct. But he actually made some sweetgrass ice cream that I desperately want to try. Um
S-
I feel like sweetgrass ice cream and Maduros would be like a good match.
Sweetgrass. Cedar. I see you have piqued Cedar's interest. Sweetgrass. Whoa.
Sorry, the thunder hit again.
We heard that. Yeah. I thought it was Cedar's mic. I was like, wait.
Nope, nope. That is a storm rolling in over the water and shaking the entire house.
Is that
I,
hurricane?
Huracan,
Huracan.
listen. Huracan is my patron, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I give offerings in general to the earth and the sky, but if I gotta call someone out by name, I'm gonna be like, Huracan, buddy, old pal, old friend, cousin, leave my house alone, please.
Mm-hmm.
Like just to loop your way elsewhere, bring chaos everywhere else. The balance, it'll trickle down balance, bud. Trickle down balance. Okay, chaos over there. And usually he does. Usually he does. He's very, very nice. And then occasionally he reminds me of what it takes to bring balance, and I force myself to be grateful because it's a good lesson to learn, even if I then have to repair my roof.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you for showing us this
Hmm.
dish. And hello, Ed Boogie. Thank you for that. Appreciate you very, very much. And we are only $50 away from our stretch goal for the 1000 Dreams Fund, you guys. Exclamation mark donate if you all would like to donate. Every dollar helps, even if it is just a dollar. This 1000 Dreams Fund is a nonprofit organization that helps women with micro grants for school costs, so tuition costs, upgrading hardware like a computer, mentorship, and so many other things. So thank you so much. Angie, I forgot to ask you about, speaking of words, I forgot to ask you about the word goulash. I think you had mentioned that in your childhood, it also meant something funny, or was it that you said it
Oh no.
reminded you of something
So
funny?
no, I know. I think I know your note because one of the Chickasaw words that I know by heart is funny, which means squirrel. So that's like something that I picked up whenever I was younger, and so my mom always would tell me that I'd be like, "Hey, what's look, it's a funny." And so like I'd point at a squirrel. So that's one of the like Chickasaw words I know is
uh,
funny because of the name. I mean, that's
and how do
but
we
it's
say it?
spelled funny. It's spelled Funi
Oh,
and it means
I
squirrel.
see. Funny. Just like that,
Yeah.
but it's squirrel.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So I
Wow.
think that's where that note came from is that I that was like one of the language words that
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
So
And to me, I think that's super appropriate because squirrels are hilarious to me. I mean, just like their
they are.
whole demeanor is hilarious to me. I love squirrels.
Yes, they're really interesting to watch.
Absolutely. Especially now it's spring-ish. They're always
Mhm.
fighting and then playing. And I follow this account on Instagram. I forget already, but there's actually two. There's one older gentleman. He's a professional photographer, but what he does on his off time is literally goes out into these woods, very pristine woods. So, not tourists walking around. And he just sets up and just sits there patiently with seeds and nuts right in front of him and waits. He has like 3 cameras set up, 3 lights, literally just waits. And then the squirrels will come by, and then the little birds will want in the seeds too. But then the squirrels are huge bullies, wouldn't you know? They'll literally attack the birds and like, no, get away, my seeds. And then
I
there's
mean,
another account that features little wooden, waterproof, wooden safety havens, little safety houses that you can buy for your trees for the squirrels to go into, so that they have their own little place to burrow in. And then there's a camera inside it, so you can watch them take in fibers from
Wow.
the outside, and then you'll see two of them go into it and like kind of fight and tumble around.
Oh my god.
So
They are
cute.
very interesting.
So let's see, cedar. Wait, actually, Angie, did you have another dish? Or I think we got to all your dishes. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure we
wonderful.
touched all of them.
Cedar, I believe there is something that you wanted to share with us. Is that right?
Yeah, the last one is Klitna, the person scooping that picture.
Perfect.
Yeah. So this is Klitna. Do I have to move over here?
Oh,
Is it over here?
I'll move it for you. Don't worry.
Okay. Oh, the other way. The other way. Okay. Um. This is Ulican grease. Ulican is a type of small fish. It's like yay big, maybe, and they're very oily. They're also known as a candlefish in English as well. And this is a acquired taste for central northern coastal nations. Only I think maybe 4 or 5 rivers are Ulican bearing rivers. And one of my nations, where my dad's from Taurino, is one of those rivers. And it's basically fish oil. Um, it's very fishy, and it's each family, each tribe, each family has their own way of rendering the oil from the Ulicans. And for my tribe, my family, it's very mild as we take our time. But some tribes, some families speed up the process and they can render the fat in like 2 or 3 days. And those are very sharp. But ours, we like to take our time, like anywhere from like 5 to 7 days, maybe, and just sort of really let the oil just sit and naturally um, derive from the oil. And it was very interesting when I brought up the photo. Angie was like, "Oh, my stomach," and that's just like so interesting because all my nations we lived off of oil. Like, on my mom's side and the Chance side were whalers, so we had whale and we had a lot of whale oil and seal oil. And on my dad's side, we have the Ulican grease. So for my nation specifically, we have a lot of oil. And according to dietitians now, you're supposed to try your best to get back to traditional foods. And for me, that's a lot of oil, like so much oil. and um, and I'm very, very grateful that my family still practices rendering Ulican grease. And so we have quite a bit, but it's a bit scarce because the forestry logging industry really affected the Ulican bearing rivers, and along with climate change and just commercial fishing as well, just all of the factors. So the Ulican population is a bit lower than we expect. And generally, when you harvest Ulicans, it used to be around now, but now it's going further back, like either mid to late April, early May, but it used to be around early March. And that's due to the factors that I just mentioned, most likely climate change. And I bet people are getting ready, getting their pits ready. How you render the fat, you just get a really big container. The modern way is some folks actually make a big box and put all the Ulicans in there, where some have like bathtubs and whatnot as well. Just very indigenized ingenuity. And the taste is very acquired. My Nichon side do not like Ulican grease at all. Um, and it's very fishy. It's a very fishy, but it's very rich in nutrients, like a lot of omegas and a lot of vitamins. I forget which vitamins, but definitely omega 3. And how we use this, as you notice with my salmon, it's very dry. So we would uh, dip it within the ulican grease and also berries as well. Another method that my grandma used to make is basically like a fruit roll up. You get all the berries and you mash it and make it into like a little fruit roll up kind of situation, and then dip the that into the ulican grease. And yeah, very grateful that my family I still have access to that. Because not many nations, even nations that have this ulican barren rivers, have access to it.
Yeah, that sounds super unique in the flavor because I was going to ask you, how does one enjoy and appreciate the grease? So you mentioned dipping the true smoked salmon in there and berries, so that fruit roll up style, like dehydrated style in there. So that's like a sweet, that's going to be really unique. I would love to try that one day. So I'm trying to,
Yeah.
okay, pure fruit roll up, the truest form, not the super sugary thing that we are used to. So it's sweet and tart, and then you have it with very fishy oil. Is that right?
Um,
You
Sorry,
dip
can
it in
you
there
repeat that?
like
Yeah,
a
you
sweet.
just
So it's like a sweet tart and kind of
uh,
fishy taste
uh
with the fruit roll up.
it's
If I were to
yeah,
have those
yeah.
together.
Yeah, it would be sweet. Yeah, definitely tart and savory. More on the savory side. It's a very strong taste,
Yeah.
even the mild
Now,
version.
when you
Yeah.
were mentioning it, would you be drizzling? Like, could we do as like Italian style? I'm sorry. Bread. You know how it's like bread dipping in the oil? That's what I was thinking when you mentioned that. Like,
Yeah.
could we do fry bread into the grease? Or that's like a
Uh,
no.
I wouldn't, but it's an option.
What
It's a
other?
very it's a very fishy. It's so
Yeah,
fishy.
I'm so curious about this
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It's more like sort of like olive oil, like what you explained, like dipping
Hmm.
like the bread into olive oil kind of situation. It's more like a dipping thin and instead of like actually cooking with it. Because like I said, most of our stuff were smoked and dried and preserved like
Hmm.
this. So we needed to find that balance to sort of make it less dry.
Yeah, I imagine it's very delicate in terms of like heat. So you would want it just like really good extra virgin olive oil to preserve all of the nutrients. You want to have it as it is, like room temperature in its oil form, that raw form, instead of like heating up and risking losing the nutrients in that.
Mhm.
Amazing. Is there anything else that one would have the looking grease with?
No, just mainly just fish.
Oh wow.
Modern days would be like potatoes. And yeah, I'm so distracted by the snake on
Yeah,
Sage's
did you
neck.
just do an outfit change?
Especially behind my tongue. Can you repeat
Artorias
that?
wanted to come hang out. I'm sorry. He's just
Oh my god,
he's
it is a real
chilling.
snake. Wait.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
he's
Wait,
just
wait.
chilling. He was
Guys.
Oh,
Oh.
well, wait, did he just eat? Oh, maybe it's just kind of the angle, but it looks like he
he
just
ate
ate.
earlier yesterday. So he's still digesting.
What kind of
So is
snake
that it?
and how old? What's their name?
Okay, so his name is Artorias. He is I think at this point he's 4. He's just
Wow.
he's
my
just
God.
vibing. He just likes vibing. I keep stuff in his tank to like keep him company, and I had to go and retrieve one, and he just popped his little head out, and so now he is just hanging out. He's exploring.
Oh my.
Okay, you mentioned that you went to go get something. So is he just kind of free ranging it in your place? You
No,
said
no,
pop
no,
its
no,
head
no.
out? Oh,
He has
okay.
a huge tank. But I
Okay.
reached in to get a thing from the tank, and he just like popped his little head out and was like, "Oh hey, what up, auntie?" And now we're just vibing.
I love it.
Yeah, he's cozy.
Yeah, he does look very, very chill.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, what kind of snake is he? Did you already mention?
Oh,
I was
he's a
just so
python.
mesmerized.
He's a
Oh,
little python.
oh my God! Look, I think he's like petting himself.
He's just scratching a bit.
Is it me or is he like plump in a like? Is he digesting? Like, is it just dead in there and it's just
Oh
kind of like?
yeah. No. He we don't feed him live food. Um
Oh, okay. Because my
he
niece
well
has snakes and she feeds it live
yeah.
like mice.
Oh wow.
So
No,
I've watched it eat.
he rejects live food, so I
Oh.
think he feels bad. So then we just end up with live food.
Oh no.
It just lives with him for a bit, and then so we've just sort of shifted to feeding him stuff that
Mhm.
has already been prepped, and he's
Mm.
content.
Mhm.
He's about to go through another growth spurt though, because like right now he's like in teenager slash adult form, but since he just as of Christmas got a new environment that's double the size, he will also be doubling in size.
Right, right. Growing with the space. Is he
Yes.
indeed named after a Dark Souls boss? Is that
No.
or it's more like the other way around? Excuse me, Dark Souls is taking the name of
Well, he had the name, and I have not played Dark Souls, so I think it's just a coincidence.
Ah, okay, okay. I see. Does that answer your question, Jeffrey? I have recently, very recently played Dark Souls, and I'm only on the second, barely on the second boss. I don't know barely anything about it. Wow. So Sage, um, were you grabbing an artifact?
I was grabbing this little guy.
Ooh,
This
wait.
is
Hmm.
a semi, or a zemi, some people call it, but it's semi. Um, this is like a demigod, kind of. This one particularly represents the moon. Um, she's she's buxom. And she is just a very very peaceful character. So I like to put her in there with Artorias. He'll occasionally just like nudge her and then just be. But yeah, we have statues like these kind of scattered throughout our culture, representing the different sort of elements because not everything has a god to it. Semis were once people. Semis were people who respected the world and who the world respected in return enough to um, give them, I guess, what you would call like a boon, like a gift, the gift to control certain parts of the world in return. Like for her, it's the moon. For Hurakan, it's the wind and the seas. Um, and then Atabe would be like our actual god, the creator. But the rest are just we are all Atabe's children, and occasionally one of us rises up and is super special and gets to do super cool stuff about it. And yeah, that's that.
Thank you for
There's his little
showing
snoot.
us.
He's hiding under my hair.
Yeah, we are just totally enamored by him right
Me,
now.
put my earring back in. I didn't want it to bother him before,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, snake.
And Sage, did you have one last dish for us? Is that correct?
I did indeed. Let me get this earring back in though.
Yeah, take your time.
Trying not to disturb poor Artorias. Okay, so this is tembleque. This is made with coconut cream, basically, and like a starch that is derived from cassava, but by that you can just use cornstarch and sugarcane. And it is cooled behind a waterfall until it is ready to be cut, and it comes out kind of uh, like flan. like a very thick pudding. And the best way I can describe the kind of taste and texture is it's kind of like a thick pudding jello type of thing, but more creamy, and it tastes like absolute heaven. Like if you've ever had just the inside of an almond joy, it's like that without the texture.
Oh, yeah.
Mm. But cinnamon.
Oh my gosh. I think we all want to end with that as
Mm.
with our dessert.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's so good. And it's definitely best cold.
Mhm.
It'll
And
like
that
melt.
is the most fascinating thing to me is that what Angie, Cedar, and you were saying, you all are not kidding. Very uh, resourceful, your culture. You all had to literally use what you had living off the land. No refrigeration, hello, but we got to have a little dessert. What the
Yeah.
heck? Cooling something behind a waterfall. I would have never thought of that.
Well, have you ever been in the caves behind a waterfall?
I have,
They're
but
kind of chilly, huh?
that is so amazing to me. That's so amazing to me to make a dessert behind the waterfall. And how long would it take? What's the
um,
timing?
in a modern day refrigerator, you can have these set in as little as like 8 hours. It does take a while. For that, I would wait 24 behind a waterfall. Just to make sure that you give it that right amount of time. You want it to go through one moon cycle, or one not moon cycle, but one night cycle, and then that should fully set it. But you usually want to put it in the morning when it's still cool in the morning. So a lot of times when people make tembleque traditionally, you get up before the sun is up. You mix everything until it's ready. You set it in your little mold, and your little like gourd, whatever you want to put it in, and then you put it behind the waterfall before the sun is up, and then before the sun is up the next day, um, you get it back, and it's done. He still
Would
looks familiar.
animals kind of steal a
I
little
scared him
taste
a
of
little
it?
bit. Wow. Sorry, what?
Would animals steal a little taste? Do they usually go behind the waterfall?
No, not usually. The most you'd have to worry about is bugs, maybe. You
Ah,
might have a little bit of worry about that, but with that, it's pretty easy to avoid that. You just cover it well enough, and then you just kind of tie down the cover,
mm-hmm.
and usually that'll pretty much do it. So we would take like a thick cloth, or there are basket coverings that are like woven very tightly. Um, and then from there, you just kind of tie it down with twine,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's fine.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. We ended it on a sweet note. And we got to everyone's food, is that right? Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I usually ask at the end of each supper stories um, a few fun questions. So, this is maybe we'll start with Angie. What would
Okay.
your final meal be before? What would your
Oh
final
gosh.
meal be, or maybe like your last must-have treats or meals?
Oh God. Are we going like all like deep here? Like, is this
Go as deep as you want.
like that's
Hmm.
um I don't know. Like, I mean, again, these foods that I tried today, I love I say indigenous, and it covers also like my Mexican side that is from Mexico. Um but man, their foods are like, with the spice is so much better. And so I would say, like the tacos, and like the carne asada, like the food that, that comes from that side, I would say would be like what I would want to eat. I made um my first batch of tamales for the first time ever. back in December. And they were green. Wait, what was it? Verde chili or a verde chicken, I want to say. Like green chicken tamales, and oh my god, they were so good. So tamales are probably up there. Like, oh my god, so good. And some beans. Man, that's a whole meal in itself. It's so good.
I
That's
love
on my
that.
list.
I love that. And I love like, girl, I need the spice. I need the spicy side of my
I know.
heritage. I need the flavor.
Well, like spices, I'm sorry, because I'm such a nerd in random shit.
Oh, we love to
Spices
hear
give
it.
you that it's like endorphins, I want to say. That spices give you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it is. Um, Endorphins and dopamine. So maybe that's why I lean to it sometimes. But um one thing that my dad had always growing up was like a jalapeno, like a raw one with his food. I don't like that because I like mine grilled jalapenos. So
Uh-huh.
I'll grill it a little bit whenever I eat my food.
Yeah, I feel
So
that. You want to roast it first to really
yeah.
get out all of the essence and the flavor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine.
How about you, Cedar? What's your like must have, your final must have treats or meals?
Yeah, my last meal would be barbecue salmon, so salmon cooked around a fire, extra crispy on the skin there. Kwakmas, the herring roe, and seaweed, klutna, potato, canute, plain potato wedges. Um, that would be my last meal. It's my favorite meal of all time. I would have that all the time if I could, and it just reminds me of my family, mainly my grandparents, summertime, and yeah, that would be my last meal.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Sage?
I think it would be a mix of things. Definitely, I would have pernil. It's like wild boar that is pit smoked until the fat on the outside is so crispy you can snap it off like a chip. It's so good. Um, I would have that, but only kind of as a treat because I typically myself have chosen not to eat pork. Um, but I think like if it was like my last meal, I would want that familiarity, and then probably pastelas from there. And then if I wanted something sweet, I actually wouldn't go for tembleque. Surprisingly enough, I would go for hey Artorias. I would go for probably. You know what? I would go for tamarindo. I would go for like a good like sweet tamarind. It would be very delicious.
Oh, just the tamarind by itself?
Hmm.
Okay, I actually have had that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have the sour or
I
the
remember
sweet
it was very tart. It was very tart but sweet because there's sugar on the outside of it. I think it was more
one?
of like a Thai delicacy if I remember correctly, but it's been a long,
Hmm.
long time. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely get them at. It's strange. Like you could definitely get from both like a local Asian market and a local Hispanic market a lot of Taino things. A lot of
Hmm.
stuff that like we all kind of shared. I think anybody who really has any semblance of a tropical biome will have had these sorts of things like guavas, guayanabas, mangoes, stuff like that. That is going to be like that's going to be like your jungle food, and um, it's good. It's just good.
Hmm. Now, a question for all three of you all. What is, like, if you were to be the official ambassador, right? Or maybe it's just a dinner at your house, like, what is the dish that you would want us to try? Like, what's the thing that you want to to introduce to people that are not familiar with your culture's food, and you're like, you gotta have this. This is what I want you to try.
That's like, am I making this food? Because I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't really do a lot of the cooking in the house, so
Angie's getting real technical. Angie's like, I don't trust my cooking. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I feel you. I'm like that too.
I mean, like,
Aside from
I
that,
think
if you didn't have to cook it, but
okay,
you're part of the decision-making process.
okay. So that's what I usually do. I'm like, I tell my partner, I show him a TikTok, and I'm like, hey, can you make this? And then he makes it for me. So usually it's a lot of Mexican food, like the pork tips and like verde sauce or something like that. Those are like, again, I gotta love my spices and my meat.
Angie needs the flavor. Yeah.
Yes. It's in my blood.
How about you, Cedar?
Like a dish. We don't really have dishes, if you haven't really noticed, here in the coast, at least within my areas. But if I were, it would probably be like a seafood feast kind of situation. Just all of the seafood, the salmon, the herring eggs, the clams, mussels, what have you. Just all of that. Crabs, especially from my home territory. Apparently, we have the best crabs on Vancouver Island. I don't know about that, but like, yeah, just all the fresh seafood that we have access to here.
I would
I
love
want to
that.
visit Cedar.
I know. I'm just like, we all need to go there because we haven't had the proper salmon until you have the salmon in Cedar's territory. I need all the styles. I want to be dipping the salmon. The salmon got too excited. The salmon in the oils. I want to have the salmon all the ways. The smoked, the fresh, the cooked in the rice comfort food bowl style.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
if
And the
you're ever
eggs.
here, let me know.
You gotta try those eggs.
Yeah.
I love it. How about you, Sage? What is something that if we went over to your place, you're like, girl, this is what you must try from my culture?
Pasteles.
What
It's
filling
pasta.
though?
The chicken, I don't mind. I really don't mind the other fillings, but the chicken is going to be kind of the choice for me because it digests a little better for me. And also because we don't really put venison in that particular one. But I wouldn't choose pork because there are a lot of people who choose not to eat it, and I wouldn't want to like assume.
Yeah. We can't always go ham. Literally in vacation. We can't go ham all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, that's one thing that we didn't have Velvet try is like spam.
Spam
oh my God,
is
we gotta talk about the spam.
it's such a good common food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that I
was-
reserved for with Riah, but I remember a dish that she had that had the zucchini, the squash, and the spam, and that, from what I understood, is like a staple because of the commodities, what the government provided, and you guys made it work.
See, and I get called out because I like mustard on my spam, and apparently that's not. See, Sage gave
No,
me.
no. I'm considering it. My face just has subtitles. No, I would try it once.
I thought we listed and we don't judge.
I was not
This
judging
is
out
Angie's
loud.
struggle sandwich.
Yes, actually, listen, spam sandwiches. You get like nowadays, even with my kids, they have to have a burger bun. I'm like, back in my day, bread was your burger bun and your sandwich bun and all like just white bread was it covered
Can we
all
use
of
the
that.
fry bread? Have you guys ever done that?
Ooh.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
There's actually a couple of indigenous restaurants up in like the Pacific Northwest, like Washington and Oregon, that use in also like Arizona and I think New Mexico. They use like fry bread on a bunch of different dishes, and I'm sure spam is probably maybe on one of those. But
There's a
yeah,
chance.
Fry bread
if
spam
not,
sandwich.
that's a
Struggle
good
Unrelated,
sandwich.
struggle.
maybe I'll take a visit to New Mexico.
Ooh, yeah, they got some
Mhm.
good food.
Yeah.
I've never had spam before. We're more of a corned beef. I don't like the
Oh,
Corned beef.
I've never had corned
Oh.
beef.
yeah, but spam does not appeal to. I don't eat. I'm a pescatarian, so I don't eat anything else. So
mm,
it doesn't
Yeah.
appeal to me. But like I understand a lot of other nations
yeah.
It's
have
definitely not the
spam.
healthiest for
No,
anyone.
no, I
Like,
don't eat it anymore.
Yeah.
absolutely not. I mean,
I
they.
won't buy it, but if I go to
Mhm.
an auntie's house and they ask if she makes me some spam and eggs, I'm gonna eat the spam and eggs.
If
Yeah,
you don't, you get
absolutely.
yelled at.
hmm I know
Yeah.
that in Filipino culture, it was about the same too. Like, they were dropping it from the planes, and they have incorporated into their dishes a lot of spam. For me, growing up Chinese, I remember having, what the heck? I think it was like spam inside like ramen soup, or like with the eggs. Eggs. So you would have fried eggs, rice, white rice, and spam. I think that's like a little Hong Kong dish there. And then I know with Japanese culture, the spam musubi, so just big old spam sushi, basically. So yeah, we've all been touched by spam in our cultures.
Yes.
Well, the
It's a
final
good
question.
universal food.
The final question that I love to ask everyone is that as we move forward into a very, very interesting future here, where we will indeed start merging with robotics, incorporating that, our physical body into that. If we have reached a point where we can completely have a new body, it's not even organic anymore, or maybe it's halvesies or something, whatever the functions are, the technical specs, I mean, if you were given the choice to be able to continue to eat food, like consume it and be able to quote unquote digest it, however, to get through your new robotic body, would you choose that, or would you say, no, I don't want that?
Yeah, it's not for me. It's such a huge part of culture, food, at least for myself, and like family and connection and connectedness with my culture. So I would still eat food, even though I don't. As a very neurodivergent person, I don't like cooking food. I would still, I would still have food.
Same.
Yeah.
It's because it's not just about the nutrition at that point. Like that's a huge part of it. Yeah, it's like enormously important. Sorry, where are you going, sir?
I'm
He's
out of
not happy
here.
that he has been recaptured. I'm sorry, my guy. Yeah, I know that it is definitely it's important. Like, yeah, it's important nutrition wise, but if I didn't need nutrition, I would still choose food because it's about it's about what it took to get that food.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what that food means to you. It's about the fact that this is a recipe that was passed down from person to person to person to person. And in the same way that you never want those stories to stop, and you never want to lose that tether, and especially if we're somehow in a robot body, which I would personally not choose, but if I was in a robot body, um I think food would be my only tether back to that type of humanity that is in me. So I would never choose to give it up personally.
And you,
And just
Angie?
to Yeah, just to agree off of them. Yeah, I don't think that you would have the same, like, we have a relationship with food. I mean, our we see food more than from what it is. Like, when we look at not only our I talked about our animal relatives, but our plant relatives. And so it's like we're connected, and I don't think, as I'm trying to be more, with our like traditional ways and stuff like that, I don't think that I would feel the same if that was the only survival mode. Like, maybe I guess we have to, we've we adapted, as far as we are today, and maybe if I had to adapt, but I wouldn't do it by choice. Like, if I had the choice of which one I would prefer, like, I would just want to have my relationship with the land and the food that we're given.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you all. It would be the same for me as well. Food is just so much more than sustenance. We're lucky enough to be living in an era right now that we're not just depending on it to survive. That's the only thing we're thinking about all day long, just to survive, just to have a little sustenance. It's it's the gathering, like you all mentioned, the gathering of family, your loved ones, your friends, cracking jokes, being loud and passionate at Sage's place with
Yes.
family
Yep.
and giggling and sharing, eating great food, the cooking, just even the cooking, hanging out maybe with grandma or your auntie, just like waiting for something to roast. Having get-togethers because it's some sort of event, or I don't know, maybe like as a sports event. I don't really watch sports, but just having a reason to like come together, like, ooh, it's pizza night, or like special treats night. Angie, yeah,
Sorry.
you want to, yeah,
I was about to raise my hand because
chime
you just
in.
gave me like the coolest idea ever. If we had like people like at TwitchCon that was like potluck style, that brought in different ethnic foods, like, imagine.
I would love that potluck night with the Swish Women's all the guilds and alliances together
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
the
like a cross
lounge.
guild event. Yeah, 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 yeah.
If that was accessible, right? Because I was just thinking about like, all right, hold on.
Well, yeah, because some people are gonna be in places, but
So,
I wonder if
like in a
like in the
hotel,
area.
like
Yeah,
how the technical portion of this going to work out? Hold on, how are we going to cook these things? But that'd be
true.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah, just
Same.
gathering with friends, having a reason to come together. There's always going to be food
Mhm.
involved. It's little treats. It makes us so happy, like you all mentioned. Seasonings, especially for Angie, apparently, gives the dopamine and all the good stuff because that's what food does for us. It's so much more. It's a little like treat, a little event, and like what you all mentioned about tethered back to our ancestors, those stories. Like for me,
Mhm.
I think of the sharing, like the act of writing down a recipe,
Mhm.
knowing that this is for the person after me, whoever loved ones, or maybe they're not even connected to my family. I want to share this so that you too can have amazing food, an amazing experience. So it's like our ancestors, or and also their stories, like surviving, living through recipes and good food that carries on through us. So
Yeah.
I would agree. I still want to be able to eat.
I feel
Well,
like I feel like it's not just that if we forget the recipes, we forget where we came from. It's also like if you believe in ghosts or ancestors, or even just that somewhere the people that we've lost are looking down upon us. in a way, it's kind of bridging that gap from this end, because you think of ghosts and you always think of a ghost appearing to you. You think of an ancestor visiting you or watching over you, but you never think of watching over them in return. And I feel like, especially for Indigenous culture, when you hold space for that food, when you recognize where it came from, and you dive as close as you can back into the ways that the people who survived enough to create you, in the way that they gathered it, in the way that they did it, in a way you are kind of reaching back, reaching back and telling them that you see them too.
Absolutely. They survive. Their stories, all their love, everything that they passed on has still survived. I love it.
Mm.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Cedar. Thank you so much, Sage, for sharing your culture and all your beautiful food with us. We learned a lot. So much. Like I'm so like truly I'm super impressed by you guys knowing so much about your family, the traditions, and like if you were to ask me, okay, well, why do you cook it that way? I'm not really sure. Let me ask. Let me find out. You all are so well informed from your family, and I just love that because that shows me that you really have that connection with them. You guys keep in touch, and you have that connection, and it's really nice. It's really good to know. I see that you all come from really warm, loving families that is continuing to pass on tradition. And I hope you all are able to. Actually, I can already see you're continuing the tradition by gaining that knowledge and sharing it with the rest of us so that we know.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks
It's
for
an honor to
having
be
us.
able to say and share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for creating this space for us to share our stories and to listen.
My pleasure. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. See you at the next supper. Do we have a
A guilty?
guilty
Is that
that we
what
want
you're?
to raid? You want to
Let
send the love
me
to?
see.
Maybe from your
Oh,
end, like
yeah.
in the alliance.
Oh,
Um,
Aretha is,
Aretha just went live. Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
So
Can you
we could also put
Mhm.
Happy Indigenous, because she's also a up in the Canada vicinity, and so the Happy Indigenous, what is it? And
languages?
yeah, is that what it's National Indigenous Language Day? Is that correct, Cedar?
I think so.
Okay. Okay.
Can you
Yeah.
put that in our Discord for us, and I'll
Oh, yeah.
paste it into the
Copy.
chat because
Okay.
otherwise it's gonna time you out.
Oh, yeah. So, um, well, I don't.
And
Let
do
me
you need
make sure.
the link for Aretha?
Yes.
All
Oh,
right, I
okay. You
got
put
you
it
on
in
that.
there.
Oh, just like
Sorry, I
that.
was just
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send the link
Indigenous
in
language.
the thing.
Yeah.
It was such a shock.
Oh, you got it.
When at first I made that comment, and I was like,
Oh God, I can hear her.
Oh, I can
Somebody's
hear.
doubling.
Alrighty, let's see. Maybe. Okay, let me make a little quick read message.
I'm gonna need Artorias to stop trying to escape. He's so curious. He wants to go everywhere.
Because we're talking about food, and you're not,
He just
he's
ate.
not eating the live food. He wants some meat,
Yes, he would very much like to explore. Here he is.
Oh my god.
Okay,
This
that will
one is-
be. Does that look good? I don't know if you want.
He
anybody
wants
wants
to be free. Yes, no, that's fine.
free me. Okay, let me get to her.
So you bring the snake to Cedars, and we're all gonna go and eat some seafood up there.
Yeah, we're gonna need some salmon.
I'm about it. I will bring Artorias.
Mhm, please do.
The friendliest guy. He wants my microphone right now. He's sniffing it.
I already imagine myself like Cedar. What? Teach me how to catch a fish like a bear in the river, and I'm just gonna be this idiot just with my mouth open. Oh my god, it's gonna be a bad
I'm like
situation.
envisioning something like Without a Paddle, the movie where you just use the light and they try to.
I thought it was like a spear. Do you use
Yeah,
a spear?
spear.
Because that's what I would use. Is try to use a
Yeah.
See, I'm
spear
over here
and
like
stab 'em.
super ignorant city person who's just.
Just grab them. Yeah, they just go straight to your
Yeah,
hand. You
yeah.
know.
Right, it's about chickens.
This
Oh my
was so
gosh.
fun. Thank you all. I needed
know,
this in my
thank-
spirit.
You all for doing this with me. Take 2. We didn't have any tech difficulties, and we're using Stream together. Amazing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
it worked.
so happy it went off without a hitch. So now we have a great recording that we'll put on the YouTube.
Awesome.
Okay, simply
be
read
fun.
that.
Yep. You
Great.
got it, or do you need it?
I have it. I'm triple checking. Like, did I get the correct? Perfect. All right. I started the raid. Thank you, you guys. Instead of that message, I know the bot did the thing.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Copy. Let me copy paste Cedar right there.
This one.
Yeah. Oh my
Cedar,
god.
why'd yours say? Why does it not show on a couple of the
We'll do that. Thank you, you guys, for hanging out with us. Thank you for donating again for a stretch goal for 1,000 Dreams Fund. Thank you, thank you. I'll see you all later on in the week. And thank you again to Angie, Cedar, and Sage for sharing so much of their family history and being so generous with their time with us. I learn something new every single time. I love it. Even just like in the Discord, you all share just so many amazing things, like the whole gardening thing. Oh, I can't wait until I have my own. I'll be DMing you guys. All right, we'll go into the raid now.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Yay. Thank
Say
you,
bye.
Gilcasla. Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Chris.